Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Final Fantasy playthrough. After we defeated the Fiend of Fire, we started on our quest to do the Fiend of Water, which led us to a town where we found out a fairy's been kidnapped.
Oh,
I know,
no.
breaking news. Worst catastrophe that has inflicted the entire planet. Sure, the seas are raging, the earth is dying, fires are burning out of control, but a fairy's been kidnapped. So it's up to us to go save him, because we're good, I guess.
I am surprised, and I love that we're going down the Amazon Trail here. You might want to look out for some ghost jaguars, but I digress. I'm surprised that they didn't give you any encounters when you're flying in the airship.
I'm glad they didn't. Later games will do encounters in the air, but for the most part, if you're in an airship and you encounter an enemy, it's boss related. I know Final Fantasy VI does that, where you actually have to hunt down a roaming boss in your airship, but I mean, that's supposed to be the huge appeal of getting your airship. Yeah, you can travel to new areas, but you're traveling to new areas on top of being able to go across the whole world map without encounters.
I can think of like two pivotal moments in Final Fantasy that take place on an airship. One is the beginning of FF4, actually, and the second is, I think, FF10, where you fight that dragon on top of the airship.
Oh my god, how does Auron describe him? The red carpet with teeth. Yeah, you fight a lot of boss on the airship. I mean, especially in 10. You have a string of bosses on the airship, and then Final Fantasy IX has that huge climactic airship battle against a swarm of dragons. Dude, no, Final Fantasy IX ups the ante when it comes to fucking airships. They tend to be the best part of any Final Fantasy game.
Well, ensemble pieces where you travel like via, like, I don't know, a ship or an airship always appeal to me for some reason. I don't know why.
I definitely love it. Anytime I get the airship, it's like, shit got real, shit got fun. I know most people have been itching for more classic RPGs, and if I could recommend Final Fantasy Dimensions on mobile. It's an episodic game, but all the episodes have already been released. It is like the perfect addition to the 16-bit Final Fantasy library. And it plays just like the old games. It has great characters, great story, and don't let the fact that it's mobile throw you off. It is a great game, and it also has really kick-ass moments on airships.
So, I noticed there was a submarine back there, and I just have to ask, did the Speedwagon Foundation give that to us?
No, they did not.
Oh.
Due to graphical limitations, they actually made the submarine look better than it is. If you notice, it's actually just a barrel. It's a barrel that she kicks off the ocean. Whoop-de-doo.
Oh, even Speedwagon has been rendered in 8-bit.
Even Speedwagon can't save the Light Warriors. He should, though. He should help us out, bro.
Alright, what's the dealio? Is that just like a regular crocodile?
It's an interior crocodile alligator, to be more specific.
Okay, Maxu.
But no, we're still continuing on that whole missing fairy thing, you know, the gripping tail that's actually taking hold of the entire world. Everyone is on waited breath on whether we'll actually save this fairy.
I think you mean bated breath, just to get a little bit pedantic there. Also, isn't that the plot of Majora's Mask? A fairy goes missing, Link goes wandering for one.
Yes, Final Fantasy is now Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is actually a very crude, obscure Final Fantasy 1 remake, in case you don't know. Actually, holy shit, now that I think about it. Oh, fuck.
No. We mustn't look too deep.
No, but, we've actually gotten some tips that there is a caravan in the desert, and apparently they might know where the ferry is. Also, there was a mermaid that was saying, hey, I got legs now, isn't that cool? No, that's not cool. Mermaid's coming on land, breaks the natural order. What are you doing? Get back.
It's like that one episode of The Simpsons where the dolphins pretty much revolt and try killing everyone.
I think that is literally the only Treehouse of Horror short that scared me. This is the only patch of desert that's, like, off the rest of the desert, so it should be your clear indication that you should probably walk around in here. And now we've got the ferry in a bottle, because the pirates sold the ferry to a caravan, and then we found the caravan's daughter in the town. You have to piece together a lot of NPC dialogue. I won't say that it's outright, oh, impossible, how are you supposed to know? It's like, this is an RPG, an old RPG at that. You should be talking to all of the NPCs, and thankfully, the translations aren't crude enough that you should be able to know what the fuck is going on. This is no Castlevania 2.
Or, one of the Ultima games.
If you're stuck, and this may sound weird, just talk to people, be friendly, be sociable for once in your life, even if it isn't a video game. That was mean, and I am very sorry, and I apologize.
It's okay, I'm not going to sell you to the pyre or anything, Maxie.
Oh, please don't. I'll probably get you, at most enough for half a cup of tea?
Oh no, not again. Thanks for going straight to the cup of tea, by the way, you stereotype asshole.
You're the one who always has to bring up speed like I'm some sort of addict.
Well, at least it's not Helldragon who always brings up you when we're discussing Ludicolo. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
But I love Ludicolo. I'm okay with that.
I don't think that's the reason he's bringing you up.
But yeah, the fairy gives us oxyale, which I'm guessing is the hot new energy drink. It's what plants crave because it's got, electrolytes or something?
Oxyale, the oxygen that gets you high.
Or it could be O'Hare Air. Have you seen the Lorax, dude?
No, I haven't, but is that the one that preaches environmental messages and then tries to sell you cars?
Yes. But it sells you a furry orange animal instead.
Yeah, I'm far too jaded and bitter to ever fall for that kind of crap.
No, but the guy tries to sell people air, and it's called O'Hare Air, which is essentially what this oxyale is. It's supposed to be like air in a bottle, or possibly beer with super amounts of oxygen in it, which, don't do that. That just ruins your beer. Why would you do that? But we need it in order to breathe underwater because, yeah, you can put 4 Warriors of Lights in a barrel and then kick it to the bottom of the ocean, but after a while, the barrel's gonna come up and you're gonna find that there are no Warriors of Lights in your barrel no more.
Well, Richie and Carter, maybe, because they're gods now. Entom and the fighter dragon, not so much.
The punchy dragon?
Yeah.
I should have made him a monk. That way it could be Entom the warrior and Helldragon the punchy dragon.
Nice.
But whatever, I needed the defense that comes with the knight classes. Otherwise, you would see a 3-man party and one unconscious party member the whole time, and I don't have the money to keep taking him back to church. I kept trying to get different encounters on the river, but all I kept getting were these hydras, and it was sort of disappointing. That is definitely one problem with recording this game, is that there are certain encounters I want to get just to show them off. Either they're Final Fantasy staples, and I wanted to show their origins. Not so much luck on the river. I got the Ochos, which is okay, but so many hydras, so annoying. And yeah, I could have cut them out, but do you really want to see a walking simulator?
Yeah.
Is that what you want from this playthrough?
I kind of had the same problem when I was recording for the Mega Showcase in Omega Ruby. I was on that route, I forget what number it is, where, the soot's always falling. And I was trying to get a few Pokemon, a few, separate ones, individuals to show off. Spinder, something else, Spinder.
Aww. You wanted that Skarmory, didn't you?
Yes, I did! The one I didn't catch earlier! Are we in Atlantis now?
No, we're in the Sunken Shrine. Pretty much the same thing. But this is the 3rd dungeon. The 3rd Fiend of Water, is actually waiting in here.
Oh, you don't say! I thought this was going to be the Fire Fiend!
No, we already took her down. God, what are you, stupid?
Literally just a water tornado. Man, they really kind of reached the end of their budget here, didn't they?
Yeah, well, the Earth elemental enemy and the Fire elemental enemy were the exact same. I fought the Fire one. It was just like that demon with a wispy tail, kind of looked like a genie. Yeah, those 2 elemental enemies look the same. The Water and Wind elemental enemies are the same sprite. They're these little tornadoes. But hey, at least we got to fight a Naga, which Cora's gonna be so mad.
Yeah, I understood that reference.
I'm so glad you did, because the silence sort of took me back a bit, and I was going to be embarrassed.
It took me a moment, because Avatar is just out of sight, out of mind, though.
Oh, you're too busy with that JoJo now, You think you're a big JoJo fan now,
Maybe if Korra posed a bit more, I'd pay a bit more attention. Not in that way, I'm talking about with, the hand over the face and whatnot.
Yeah, everything could actually be better with poses. In fact, Final Fantasy could do with some JoJo poses.
Like, JoJo could do with some more JoJo poses. It's like, in the latest one, who was it? I think it was like Polnareff was posing. No one else in that party was. It's been kind of missed since part 2. I guess you can't top Joseph and Caesar.
There's nothing that can top Joseph and Caesar until you get to Stone Ocean. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Is that part 5?
6.
Ooh, close.
Music for this area is beast as hell. You may not be able to tell, but this is actually the same music that was playing during the Chaos Shrine. You know, those 6 steps in total I took to get to Garland.
Yeah.
But the Chaos Shrine and the Sunken Shrine use the same music. And if you're trying to look up this track on the actual official OST, you may be confused when you find the track titled Sunken Shrine, and it's actually playing a different version of this song. That's because when they were naming the tracks, they couldn't just say, oh, this is also the Shrunken Shrine, this is also the Chaos Shrine. Instead, they used Sunken Shrine's name to title a track that we won't see until the very end of the game. And it's always hilarious to see comments type like, this isn't actually where it plays. It's like, maybe you should actually read the OST.
Maybe you should actually play the fucking game.
Just play the game and stand in place to hear the awesome music while I beat up sharks.
Oh no, you killed the Gur shark. They're endangered, you know.
Oops. Oops! It's okay, they're evil. You can kill evil endangered animals. That's why people step on spiders all the fucking time. The only problem, of course, is that this track will always fucking repeat, especially in later floors where it's actually going to start repeating every 5 seconds, because I'm going to be talking to a lot of people.
People? In a dungeon?
Yeah, very, very weird, but it makes sense when you realize that this is more of a shrine. Like, it's not meant to just be... I mean, the Earth Cavern was just a cave. Golug Volcano was... just a regular volcano. The shrine actually holds some significance. It's a man-made structure that happened to have gotten pulled down into the floor of the ocean.
Yeah.
But this is the floor I'm talking about. Lots of rooms, and all the rooms filled with mermaids.
As you do, I guess.
The oxyale thankfully not only lets us breathe underwater, it allows us to talk and have conversations. One-sided conversations at that underwater. And the mermaids are just mostly talking about that since the water has been cursed by the Fiend of Water draining the crystal of its energy, that I guess their life force is tied to the ocean itself, so as the ocean dies, they'll die too. And I do like how there's a callback to Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid. They say that they'll just disappear into foam.
Oh, right, sorry, yeah, because I had the Disney version in mind, where she lives happily ever after.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the one where she dies. As most fairy tales actually end with gruesome deaths.
Yeah, also, Quasimodo starves to death.
While hugging the corpse of Esmeralda.
Yeah, when they find him in the crypt, years down the line, you just see a deformed, skeleton hugging another skeleton.
It's pretty fucking terrible. Disney, why did you decide that of all books to make into a happy musical number that required a sequel for reasons?
Oh, we'll get to that at some point, don't you worry.
Yeah, the true horror is not the two hugging skeletons. The true horror is the sequel to the Disney movie.
Oh, fucking Haley Joel Osment voices the son of Phoebus and Esmeralda. Spoilers, by the way.
Ew, that's disgusting. Also, that bridge is actually a map wrap. When you cross that bridge, you actually walk from the left side of the map to the right side of the map, but you can't really tell when you actually cross it. I just wanted to talk to all these mermaids. They give a little insight into what the Fiend has actually been doing. And if anything, it actually shows the danger that the Fiends pose. Yeah, the vampire fucked up Melman, but we didn't see much of what Lich was doing outside of just a few yellow blades of grass. We didn't get to see Merilith burn down a village. She was just chilling out in a volcano. It's actually threatening the lives of all these mermaids. And the ocean itself, which I guess wasn't all that bad considering that we were able to sail quite safely with happy music the whole time.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo. I want to see what the actual translation for a lot of this text is. I haven't bothered. It's like, I spent way too much time actually looking to the AIs of enemies and all the freaking glitches and shit. But when it came to figuring out, I wonder what the literal translation for a lot of this dialogue is, I gave no fucks. I don't care. This is actually important, though, mentioning the Mirage Tower. That will be later. So, talking to all these mermaids wasn't for naught. We got story, and we also got tips for the future. Again, old RPGs, you need to talk to people. That is, part of the gameplay. That is up there with, cutting grass in a Zelda game. You should be doing it without conscious effort.
Well, sometimes it's just nice to have a conversation. Also, I've been wanting to point this out for the longest time, but you didn't seem to want to shut up, which I thank you for. By the way, the tiles of this dungeon, they remind me of the blocks in Super Mario Bros.
They might, actually. I wouldn't really know. I mean, they're different assets. If this was a Nintendo first-party game, I would be more inclined to agree, but it may just be that they use the same development kit, and it's just one of the default textures.
I was trying to fill up time, Maxie. Come on, man.
Well, hey, you bring that up, but you very well could be bringing up a very legitimate point. I mean, a lot of these games, there wasn't a lot of technology to make them, so limited assets, and so you see reappearing textures, patterns, despite who actually developed the game.
Also, enemies, recolors.
That you have to chalk up to just any turn-based RPGs. Even now, in this generation of games, you are going to see recolored enemies. And most of the time, if they're colored red, they're faster than their previous version.
Oh.
If you've actually played The Simpsons, the movie, the game, which don't, I want to put that out there. There are weird achievements, and one of them you get for beating these recolored enemies. And even the game is like, oh my god, the red enemy is faster. It's like, wow, Simpsons, you're about 10 years late on that joke.
Well, I heard the Simpsons movie game was pretty good. Not as good as Hit and Run, but still decent.
I played on the PSP, though, that's the problem.
Oh, well, that explains everything. Okay, the Birth by Sleep machine.
That wasn't just a Birth by Sleep machine. That was
yes, it was.
That was a Dissidia machine. That was a Do It Des machine. That was a portable PS1 emulator. That alone should be worth the price tag. Yeah, you may only get 1 or 2 actual PSP games, but the fact that you can play every classic PlayStation 1 RPG and some of the platformers? Come on! It's fucking gold!
Well, I did always kind of want to try the GTA games, just for the novelty of it, but they never did a San Andreas story, so fuck them.
Yeah, Liberty City Stories, I actually had that game too. I had a lot of PSP games. It was alright. It was okay.
Right, so where are we off to now, mate?
The whole time we could have been heading deeper into the dungeon to get to the boss, but I wanted to get, obviously, all of those items where the mermaids were, especially that slab. I honestly can't believe I talked over that part. The slab is the most important item in that whole floor. That is mandatory.
Insert Courage the Cowardly Dog reference here.
Yeah, we need to return it eventually, otherwise we're gonna get a Jaunty musical number.
The man goes, the man goes.
Man goes.
There you go.
So get the slab, and now we can go to the boss, which is deeper and deeper into the floor.
Well, I wouldn't expect any less.
I know, though you would think that maybe since we can breathe underwater, we would just jump into the water holes and then sink further and further down, but no.
I love the dynamic entry pose of this guy in the front.
Oh, the Sahagin?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think he's a wizard Sahagin, which I don't know how a Sahagin manages to get magical powers like that. But at the very least, they were nice enough to give the recolored enemies different names, like, oh, this one's a wizard one, this one's a dark one, this one's a great one, this one's a super dark, great, limited edition gold one. That one's gonna run out of pre-orders in about 3 minutes, so you better get your hands on one now. But again, Infinite Thunder 2s, if that wasn't OP enough, is the best thing to do in this dungeon. I think this is actually the easiest dungeon to record for me, because all the other ones I actually had to, have strategies lined up. I had to make sure I checked which attack I was using for everyone, but everything in this dungeon is weak to lightning, it's like, Cardo, do the thing!
Strategy be damned.
Nah, just Cardo do the thing, and Cardo does it.
And it is done.
The ribbon is a great item that you should always pick up no matter what Final Fantasy game you're playing. They sort of carry that over. It allows the character to be immune to status effects.
Ooh.
Yep. And in this game, that will include instant death. So yes, put that bad boy fucking on.
Have we run into any cockatrices yet? Because I've heard horror stories about those bad boys.
Those were actually back in the Earth Cavern, which I may have run into, but I cut those battles. The cockatrices are annoying unless you have multi-hit thunder or ice spells, which I had by the time I got there. Like I said, the thing you need to watch out for is these random enemies that will just instantly kill you.
The big guys. These guys, well, they didn't really give me a problem per se, but when I was like surfing the high seas, they were pretty annoying.
The paralysis really affects you. Like, early game paralysis is pretty much just as bad as instant death. Especially when you run into a big gang of them. They're just gonna continuously paralyze and hit you, and there's no real way to heal them early game. At this point in the game, everything can be dealt with hitting it harder and faster than it can hit you.
Yeah.
Which is easier said than done when the turn order isn't based on a stat, but rather 50 random shuffles. But, oh well. Thank you, Richie, and your infinite heals.
Karen, what ails you?
It's okay, because you guys still have that kick-ass gear I managed to pick up / buy. I always find it awkward that a town can have better gear than what's in a mysterious magical dungeon next to the other town. It's like, there's no global economy? You guys can't trade for these items?
Just go to like the desert and whatnot. They got fairies for cheap.
Cheap? You're right, that shit cost me like 50,000 gold.
Well, you pick it up like tens of thousands just in this dungeon alone.
At this point, but imagine back then.
Ugh.
And here we go, the water crystal.
Why is it red?
I would say it's more of a pink, bro.
It's salmon coloured.
You know what? That makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Oh, here comes the kraken, unleash it!
Unleash the kraken, show image of butt cheeks. Yes, we all know the memes.
Yeah, that's definitely a kraken. He's even got like a jaunty pirate hat and a sword.
It's more of a squid top head. And thankfully, unlike Marlith, this guy is weak to lightning. Like everything else in the dungeon. But this guy has actually been wreaking havoc for 2,000 years, so don't take him too lightly. He will cast his ink, 25% of the chance will inflict blind on the whole party, which will make it even harder to hit him physically. So you should really cast either your protect or invisible spells, anything that can soften the blows that he will deal to you. But once again, if you can just instantly cast thunder spells over and over, he's no problem at all.
So that's what blind is in this game, darkness?
Pretty much, yeah. Which is weird because there's also a dark element, so don't get the two confused. There's darkness status effect, dark element.
Gotcha.
As long as we can just keep casting lightning, Carter's free lightnings, and hell, at this point I might as well just use the lightning spells that Richie has stocked up on. I don't really need to heal, come on. And he just goes down, he's got a decent amount of HP, I mean even for back then. Take out that 800 HP, and light up the water crystal. I think in the manga, each of the Warrior of Lights is actually assigned a crystal, because if you read the prologue prophecy, it says that each Warrior of Light has a crystal in hand. I believe that the warrior, the fighter class, is the one who has the earth crystal, but honestly, I'd like to assign fire to Helldragon. Let's give water to Cardo. Wind to... I'm not sure if I want to give wind to Tom or Richie.
Earth would be more my element, I believe.
Yeah, I was thinking it, but I didn't want to assume. So, Earth to Tom, Fire to Helldragon, Wind to Richie, Water to Cardo.
Yes, we are the Mystic Knights of Tin and Octo,
Well, you're 50% British.
Yeah.
3/4! Sorry, Cardo.
Yeah, how dare you?
I'm sorry, I don't hear Cardo talk all that much.
No.
Cardo, why don't you call me, baby?
Okay, we're just going to end this part on a awkward note, and we'll see you all next time for more of the Final Fantasy playthrough. Bye bye for now.
Call me?